Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're at, ladies and gents. I am Kura Isagami, your resident Tinkerer and Medarotter, and this is the Medarot News Network, bringing you all the latest developments and happenings with our favorite pet fighting robot series. Now this week, as we wrap up the tail end of a 2-week period of Golden Week, we are basically going right from one event essentially into a more lower paced one at this point, which is honestly kind of contrary compared to who we are seeing this week finally making their grand debut into the game. A well-known and beloved card type that honestly kind of preceded the whole meta change mechanic before it ever became a thing. Officially both in the Medarot 2 game he debuted from, as well as the anime. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into this week's episode, which I've thus named High-Octane Horsepower. Starting with the Gacha Bandage we have going live this week, of course, is everyone's favorite car type, CAR-0 Land Motor, with a kit of radar sight, double anti-air, biped legs, and the primacy leg ability. And he is also capable of meta change, where his kit changes more or less almost entirely, with a kit of missile, shoot boost, mobile boost, wheeled legs, and also with the primacy ability. So kind of more of an auxiliary surface-to-air killer more than anything else, pretty much just as he always has been, even in the early games, before meta change ever was a thing to begin with. In addition to him, we also have our lovable and one of our resident 3 VTubers, GBV01 Shushu Pop, the vocalist type, with a kit of field control, metaphor seal, canceller, wheeled legs, and the popper leg ability. And then last but not least, we also have, of course, one of the Orimeta winners, the New A contest for boss types, which is NUE0 Beast Chimera, with a kit of canceller, ghost shot, laser, wheeled legs, and with the Haja leg ability for passive stat cleanse. Now honestly, of the 3 we have this week, Beast Chimera is going to be the big go-to ticket more than anything else. But if that wasn't enough, we actually have another set of Gacha banners going live that will be added and be seen going from this week going forward. And starting with that, on the line, of course, is everybody's favorite KBT-05M Saikachis, with a kit of missile, rifle, gatling, biped legs, and the gunman leg ability, who also is indeed capable of meta change as we have seen in the past, with a kit of missile, crossfire set and release, wheeled legs, and the Absand leg ability for passive cooldown bonus. But as you see here, that's not the only Beetle type that we're going to be seeing go live this week. In fact, we do have the long-awaited KBT and KWG-03 models, Kantaros and Mach Massive. Kantaros with a kit of missile, rifle, and gatling, much like his fellow family members of the KBT family, but instead he is also packing the Trigger Happy leg ability instead of any other traditional one we've seen thus far. In addition to this, we do also have Mach Massive following the same kit of his family members, with radar sight, sword, and hammer, but his leg ability also being breakneck for passive speed bonus. Now, one other thing to note with these two, they will not be seen in official banners. They will actually be added to the PvP gacha each week, so there is no legitimate way to get them outside of that, aside from participating in PvP and collecting the tickets thereof upon meeting certain ranks. So it does kind of suck to a point that we will not be able to pick up these two relatively easily, but if you stay on top of PvP each week, or at least add that to your list of things to do, you can honestly pick these two guys up, along with the other PvP exclusive models, such as Bankaran, Victory Horn, and Rose Bouquet, or Armor Chariot as other examples. You should be able to pick these guys up all the same just as easily. Now with the Fierce Battles we have this week, also we're going for a high-octane wheel-based types. Starting the line, we have KAB-0 Grade Kabuki, with a kit of triple virus, wheeled legs, and the charm leg ability. We also have PLZ-01 Speed Alert with mobile boost, shock, gatling, wheeled legs, and the emergency leg ability. And then last but not least, our resident chonky tank is TND-0 Tank Dunk, with a kit of napalm, missile, gatling, tank legs, and the bullet rain leg ability. Now honestly, Tank Dunk will definitely be the odd one out in this case, being a tank leg and not a wheeled leg, but he does honestly make up for it pretty easily with the heavy AoE type of combat mastery that he does offer. But if I do have to give the MVP of the week to somebody, I would honestly have to give it to Speed Alert, given that it's a very quick access to a shock skill for male parts, which is honestly kind of a rarity compared to what we see across the board, say for instance with females having access to a lot more ailment skills. I would honestly consider Grade Kabuki in there as well, but given that all 3 of his parts are heavy, that does honestly kind of defeat the purpose of an ailment attack just a little bit, making it a little hard to kind of give him a proper role as an MVP of the week. Now, kind of in light of the High-Octane spirit that we are going to be jumping into this week, we are also getting a Marathon Survival event added to highlight bots such as Land Motor, Mystery Leader, and Rollstar, as you see here, who's making a reprise. Now, just to go over the rules of the Marathon Survival ever so briefly, basically in each fight you will use a set of parts. Upon victory, all the parts you used in that particular set will be added to a banned list, meaning you will not be allowed to use them at all without a redemption until you can make the next checkpoint following the end of a certain number of rounds. Honestly, the rules itself aren't too difficult, very easy to pick up both for veterans and rookies alike, but it is mostly going to be a test to see if you've kept up to date with keeping parts raised, even if you don't use them, as well as how flexible you can be with using parts that you normally don't use often, or even if at all, for lack of a better term. But in addition to this, we are also getting the teaser to a brand new mechanic that is going to be added sometime in the near future, and that is parts TuneUp. Basically, the whole premise to this is during certain events or trials or whenever they decide or deem fit, we will be able to redeem tune-up points, or TP for short, to power up and buff certain stats of parts or even modifiers for the duration of the event, for a permanent boost to their performance during the time period. There has been no official release date or heads up on when this feature will be going live, so I do anticipate in the next couple months or so we probably will be hearing more information about it, leading up to its official release with a big event, of course, to commemorate it and debut it officially. But with all this on the community front, we are still continually looking for translators, primarily for the Medarot 3 and the Medarot Reloaded translation projects. Coding has been going phenomenally well, according to both Variant and Wiset, who I had on the channel just a little while ago, honestly, kind of talking about the Medarot 3 progress. But with that being said, if you are versed in Japanese, coding, cleaning, and have some time on your hands, we are more than appreciative of any efforts that you'd be willing to provide or even contribute some time to help us see those projects to completion. Because we would love nothing more than to see Medarots 4, 5, or especially even Navi had work done towards to see fan translations of those. And with the Medarot Reloaded manga as well, with that being the only Medarot manga currently that's ongoing in a weekly publication, we would love to see those chapters translated as well. We just lack the manpower to do it. So again, if you are knowledgeable in coding, cleaning, or Japanese and have some time on your hands, we are more than appreciative of any efforts that you would be willing to provide and help see these projects to completion. Now, with the weekly art highlight on the channel, I found a couple really nice pieces, today no less. So it really wasn't too hard to actually pick a couple highlights of the week to look at. First of which was this piece by So Wrong It's Right, or Twitter user Sudra.hanu. I do apologize if I botched the name if you're watching this, with a really unique piece that's not only doing it their own style, but also kind of mimicking and emulating that of Horomarin's himself, which was used to mark the new covers for the more recent translations and publications of the Medarot manga. So fantastic work there. Very nice choice of KBT, by the way, there with Arc Beetle. And then, of course, this other piece here by Twitter user Bei Daisuke. Again, I do apologize if I did botch that or mispronounce it. With going kind of an ongoing project of theirs based on what I saw of releasing papercraft projects of certain Medarot types. I believe the current one I saw on their page was going towards Hardness 10, I believe, which I'm very eagerly looking forward to and seeing final project of that. Definitely looking forward to seeing more progress on that and maybe even seeing a download sometime sooner than later. But with all this being said, I believe that covers just about everything for this week's episode, so thanks again for stopping by, folks. If you'd like to know more, you can follow us below on Facebook at the Medarot News Network page or the Metabots Forever community on Facebook. You can also join us on Discord in the link provided and in the comments below if you'd like to keep a closer ear to the action, where we're more often than not anything related to merch, game updates, or anything of the like. That will be the first place you hear it before it goes anywhere else. In addition to this, you can also follow me on Twitter personally at IsagamiKura, so if you have any questions, comments, feedback, or suggestions, I am more than appreciative or open to anything that you'd be willing to suggest. My DMs are always open for this very reason, so don't be a stranger. Feel free to stop on by and give me a shout. Do also give these good friends of mine as well in the community a shout and a follow. On Twitter, it's Utahime00, who is another fellow Medarotter friend of mine. Fantastic work there as well. And also give Bei Daisuke, who I highlighted on my art highlight as well, a follow, who's been working on the Medarot papercraft projects. So again, looking forward to seeing more updates on that in particular. But with all that being said, thanks again for stopping by, folks. It's always happy to have you in for a visit. Until next time, this is your host, Kura Isagami of the Medarot News Network, signing out.